a neat trick.
Leaving this Malik unleashed on the world could have irreparable consequences.
You have to bring back my daughter. Your gift, there's something so familiar.
You don't know what you're doing giving that man that power.
Say hello to anarchy.
Gun reviews, and we're back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. To get started, I just want to mention again the person who made my logo for Smirking Gun Reviews, the one that looks like Better Call Saul. It was made by my really good friend Gino Reynolds, who's got a channel called The Real Gino, R-E-E-L-G-E-N-O. He supports small YouTubers like myself, he himself being a small YouTuber, and never asks anything in return, and his videos are really honest, really good. He covers a lot of things that I don't cover, and I just want to suggest you guys go check out his channel and give him some support, because he's been supporting a lot of other people, and it's time for me to try to help support him a little bit. Also, if you are liking the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking, leaving a comment, sharing, all that nonsense. Anyway, it's time to talk about episode 10. It's called Stolen. I wasn't looking forward to this episode. Not just because last episode I enjoyed so much, but because I could feel where we were headed. Especially with the stingers of the last 2 weeks. And this last stinger really took a lot of us out of it. With Nathaniel's story. And look, I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I have been a staunch supporter of this show since day one. When people weren't watching, when people gave up on the show, I've always stuck with it, even when I don't like it. I don't like every episode of this show. And for Season 5, the running joke of how I really didn't like most of Season 5. I still watched every episode. I still supported this show. So if you come to this review thinking I'm just going to regurgitate what you want to hear, prepare yourself to be disappointed, because I have to think critically about things. I don't just love an episode because I love a show. If a show gives me an episode I don't like, I have to honestly tell you why I don't like it. Now, there's nothing wrong with anybody, our core groups acting or anything like that. And I am in the minority on my Fans of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, which I should also mention, Fans of S.H.I.E.L.D. over on D's Reviews. Me, Darren Jakes, and Don Willie, every Friday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, talk about the latest week's episode. There's going to be a very interesting discussion this week. I feel like I'm going to definitely be in the minority here, but I didn't really care for this episode. It was one of those episodes where you know right from jump, at least I did, that our heroes were going to fail, and fail big. I thought that they kind of failed last week, and the failure just keeps mounting. And it's not unusual for a show to ramp up to a season finale with a lot of losses. We're talking a series finale, the legacy season as we've been calling it. And throughout the entire season, this last season, I just haven't really liked any of the villains. I've never been a fan of any of the Maliks. I've never been a fan of the way that they did a lot of Hydra stuff. And this newest episode is no different. It had some interesting things. It had some interesting ideas. But I feel like Nathaniel Malik is just your garden variety wannabe Joker who, you know, I'm going to steal everybody's powers and give my bullshit usual villain speech where I'm actually helping, when it's just him being crazy. It's just him wanting more power, and there's nothing really new or interesting that he's saying to me. And then you got Cora, the mystery long-lost daughter who just suddenly goes... Like, we know there's history there, but just how evil she goes right away from being like almost killing herself to just going full-on evil. Just like that. Just, yeah, I'm on board, screw it. You know, no thought into it because we're rushing towards the end. And then we meet young John Garrett. John Garrett was one of the best parts of season 1, played by the late, great Bill Paxton. And his, I believe it's his son here, that comes in to play the younger version of himself. And I don't dislike that idea. And I think that they let him have a lot of fun with it. But I don't really care for any of the acting from Cora, from Nathaniel, from John Garrett. John Garrett is doing... and he gets mostly a pass because he's trying to do justice, you know, to his father, right? That is his son. And so I kind of give him a pass, except, you know, it's like, did we really need to... I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the idea or the character or whatever. I just don't care about these villains. They are weak. They are weak villains to me. They are spineless to me. They are not what you want in a season finale. A series finale, I should say. I would take the blue-faced assholes from season 5 that I could not stand. I would take Zombie Ruby, who I... like, bring her back from the dead, who I didn't care for. More than what I'm feeling here. But it's not just that. It's the feeling that I got right from the beginning that this was a lost cause. Everything was going to go down badly. And the choices that they make, some of these characters make, I just don't agree with. This is the first time all season that I felt like just going, please, I just want this episode to be over. And so I'm sorry. There were moments of, like, Sousa being impressed by the computer room, and them being like, yeah. I really like that. The fish out of water stuff still really works for Sousa's character. The moment between Daisy and Simmons talking about how devastated Simmons was when they took the chip out, and what did that mean? But we get no answers. We can just speculate more off of what we were speculating after last week. I did like them showing Garrett the future. We know now they had, they have the time stream. They knew this. But then we get the long-lost sister plot this late, right? Throwing in a third sister. Now, I know we set it up last week. We get it confirmed for sure this week, and I just feel like this is a... Why? Why add a Cousin Oliver character this late in the game? Why is that important? Why do we need another emotional crutch for Daisy to... Because it's like, I'm sure they've got it, it's going somewhere, but I just don't care. I care what happened. I was caring what happened to everything that was going on up until Nathaniel showed up again and was stealing powers. And then just that's it. We're going to have our own little army of superpower people, and like I predicted last week that how it's going to end is that our S.H.I.E.L.D. agents are going to have their own superpowered army to go against Nathaniel's weak-ass stolen powers army. But they also, with the Cora storyline, it's just another thing to throw in front of Daisy, where she could, be forced to choose the selfish way to, like, oh, I've got to save my sister storyline, that kind of thing. Now, it looks like they're going to go another way, but this is just how I kind of first saw it. And like I said, Nathaniel's just giving the usual BS villain crap. I'm really Robin Hood, and it's like, shut up, dude. And when Gordon says, I'm going to teleport you to a secret place. And I was like, no. There will be no secret place. As soon as they go there, they will be caught, and it's exactly what happens. Because they have the time stream, you know that they're going to jump. Like, a secret place inside the place. When he said secret place, I thought somewhere close by outside where you could sneak in. I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima right now, so I was thinking, you know, how lately I've been trying to sneak into all the forts, right? So it's like, secret room, a way in, not in the damn building where it's just a hallway. The secret hallway that nobody goes down. I did really like Garrett talking to Coulson. I thought that was a fun exchange. And again, I do really like the idea of bringing young John Garrett in. I really do. It was a little, it's just a little, I'm trying to not be mean about it, but it just, there was a really nice comment that Daisy made about fascism being back. Thought that was pretty timely. I mean, this was filmed a year ago. And, well, I mean, I guess fascism was coming back even back then, but it's even more relevant now. Whether you agree with that or not, I don't know. But, Ben Souza encouraging Daisy. He's like, the timeline's screwed, so whatever. Okay, maybe he's new to time travel and stuff, but like, he could be causing her own, you know, to not exist anymore. Although by the end of this episode, why Daisy's running around anyway without Jai Ying being able to give birth to her, and it's not like he's wrong. It's just not right at the moment to be pushing her towards some emotional meeting right now when things are this dire. And then somebody could say, well, it's in that moment that we need her to have that moment. No, you don't. It doesn't make sense for the story to do that. Unless you're just... sometimes you have to separate being a fan and being what makes sense to the actual story. Alright? If we all just got fan service 24/7 and didn't give a shit about the show wouldn't be any good. We'd just be... I don't even know how to... So Daisy sort of spills the beans, but she held back. I appreciated that. But then, boom, here comes Nathaniel, right? To just blow it all out in the open anyway. So it's like they gave Daisy the right lines. They actually did the right thing, and she didn't say anything about her being her daughter. And then they just go right back on that and let Nathaniel do it instead. I did like the Deke Squad t-shirts. Finding out that they opened for Twisted Sister. That was pretty funny. But then Gordon dies. And Yo-Yo shows up and we get another cool moment of Yo-Yo using her powers, and I was so afraid that she was going to get taken too. And then when Nathaniel starts talking about this is your daughter, and they literally start having a heart-to-heart in front of the villain who could just kill them both right then when they're talking. It's a bad time for a heart-to-heart. And then Nathan kills Jai Ying. Snaps her neck. Why Daisy didn't just disappear like Marty McFly was about to in Back to the Future, I don't know. I guess that, you know, Deke's still around, so that, you know, I guess it's not that big a deal. But then she does her superhero pose, right? And they boom, and you expect the whole place to come down. Or at the very least crush him into a cube or something. I don't know. But no, nothing. It's just a lot of lights and a lot of posturing, and then Mage starts shooting, and then he runs away. And then I thought to myself, okay, so Coulson shoots Cora with an icer. Yay! Except it should have been a real gun. It should have just been a real gun, guys. He should have just blown her away. No one was there to witness it. Coulson has shot people before when it needed to happen. Like Whitehall. I know this is not what we want from our heroes per se, but I just wanted to see her just get blasted. Sorry. But they kept her around, and I was thinking to myself then, well, great, what are we going to have? Like, powers of sisterhood unite, like fucking Frozen or something. We find out that Fitz is the key in the stinger. So hopefully that really does mean that the conversation that Gemma and Deke had about him maybe not being around is not accurate. But who knows at this point. We'll know when we know. And then Cora changes sides again in the preview for next week. I want to be an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Next week's trailer, they're building it up to, this is the last episode before the epic 2-part finale. I don't want 3 more episodes of this going on. I want them to finish Nathaniel's storyline next week. And then fix the timeline in the finale. Because I'm done with this. I'm sick and tired of bad villains. This show used to have great villains. Season 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Graviton at the end of Season 5. And then the Season 6 had great villains. This is not good villains. It's making it hard to watch, and watching your characters be written to do things like when she shoots him with the quake powers and then lets him fire back at her so that he can kill them. It just didn't track with me. It just didn't track with me. They wanted it to go a certain way, and then it went a certain way. So I'm sorry if this is not the review you guys wanted to see or hear, and it's going to be interesting on Fans of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Friday. But that's just honestly how I feel. This was not, to me, a very good episode. And it wasn't because the bad guys won. It was just a lot of different factors, man. If the characters, to me, were just, I don't know. Anyway, so if you did happen to like this review, hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. Oh, man, I'll see you guys next week for episode 11. Have a good one.